In this video, I will show you how to use Gemini Spark step by step. Imagine waking up in the morning and receiving a personalized briefing with your important emails, upcoming meetings, and tasks that need your attention. That's the type of work Gemini Spark can do for you. Spark transforms Gemini from a chatbot into an AI agent that can take on larger goals. Complete multi-step tasks, work in the background, and run on schedule. We'll create a few practical examples so you can see exactly how Gemini Spark works and how to start using it yourself. I'm OX and let's dive in. To get this drops us on the main Gemini homepage. Look over on the left-hand side navigation, and right here at the top, you'll see this icon to switch to Spark. Let's click on that. This drops us into the main Spark workspace. Now right away, you'll notice that we have 3 key areas. And let me expand the sidebar so we can see them better. At the top we have tasks, schedules, and skills. Tasks are individual. Let's start by clicking on tasks. For this example, I simply want Spark to send me a joke. I wasn't kidding, we're starting with the basics. So right here in the prompt field, I'll type in "send me a joke." And over on the right hand side, let's submit that. There we go. Why did the cookie go to the hospital? Because it was feeling crummy. Haha, that's a good one. And it's even cookie themed. Honestly, it knows me far too well. Now at its core, task, which we just did, is simply a piece of work that you want Spark to complete. Now I'd like to share these jokes with my kids, and I need to make sure that they're appropriate for children. Now this one was, but some might not be along with jokes. I might also use Spark to generate bedtime or stories, explain different topics to them, rather than telling every task that the content should be kid-friendly. I can create what's called a skill. A skill is a reusable set of instructions that Gemini can apply across multiple tasks. Over on the left-hand side, let's click on this icon to open up skills. We can either create a skill with Gemini, which presents a conversational interface, or right over here we can also create one manually. To better understand what goes into a skill, let's create one ourselves. I'll click here at the very top. We can give the skill a name. I'll call mine kid-friendly content. I could also type in a description. Adapts content so it is appropriate and easy for children to understand. And down below, I'll type in some instructions. Once you finish entering everything in the top right, I'll click on create at the very top. We can see the skill that we just created, and down below you also see some recommended skills. Feel free to look through these, and that might give you some inspiration for when you might want to create your own skill. Now over on the left-hand side, let's now navigate back to tasks. I'll click here. Let's now describe that same task again. Send me a joke. To make sure the joke is appropriate for kids, we're now going to apply the skill that we just created. And there are 2 different ways you can do that. You could enter in the character, or alternatively, you could type in a /. And right there we see the skill that we just created. I'll select it, and then over on the right hand side, let's submit that. Here we go. What do you call a sleeping dinosaur? A dinosaur. Nice. Now notice that the task itself is very simple. It's just send me a joke. The skill right over here provides the additional guidance that tells Gemini how the content should be generated. In other words, the task tells Gemini what to do, while the skill helps Gemini do it better. Now let's make this even more useful with something called schedules. My kids love hearing jokes, so I'd like Spark to automatically generate a new joke every weekday after I pick them up from school. Down at the very bottom, let's ask if it could send me a joke every weekday at 4:30 p.m. Then I'll submit that. Notice that Spark automatically recognizes that I want this task to run on a recurring basis, and it even suggests a schedule for me. Now over on the left-hand side, let's click into schedules. Right here we can see the scheduled task. Let's click into this here. Weekly, Monday through Friday at around 4:30 p.m. Spark will now automatically generate a new joke using the kid-friendly content skill that we created earlier. So just as a quick recap, the task, what you see right here, that tells Gemini what to do. Here, we call out the skill that helps Gemini do it better. And right at the top we have the schedule. This tells Gemini when to do it. The joke example is fun. But let's now look at a more practical example. Now click back into tasks over here. I'll click on this icon. Earlier in this video, I mentioned waking up to a personalized briefing with your important emails, upcoming meetings, and tasks that need your attention. This is one of the most compelling use cases for Gemini. Spark right over here. I'll enter in a task that does just that. Over here, let's submit that. Unlike a traditional chatbot, where you ask a question and get a response, Spark can take on a larger goal and figure out the individual steps needed to complete it. In this case, Spark is reviewing multiple sources of information, identifying what's important, and then assembling everything into a single briefing. Here, I could see important emails that need my attention. I could also see upcoming meetings. Down below, I could see other tasks that need my attention. Now this alone can save me so much time, because now I don't need to check multiple different apps. In the morning, Spark brings all of this important information into one place. Now, of course, I don't want to have to manually run this every single day. So just like we did before, let's turn this into a recurring task. Down below, I'll ask it to run this every morning at 7 a.m. and then let's submit that. Just like before, Spark recognizes that this should be scheduled and automatically creates the recurring schedule for me over on the left-hand side. Let's click into schedules. Over here we can see the scheduled task, and when I hover over it, you'll see the 3 dots on the right-hand side. When I click on that here, I could go back and change the task. I could run it now, pause it, or delete it. This is where the value of Spark really starts to become apparent. Instead of opening Gmail, checking my calendar, reviewing my tasks, and figuring out what needs my attention, I could simply let Spark do all of that work for me. By the time I start my day, the briefing is already waiting for me. Hopefully, this gives you some ideas for how you could use Gemini Spark in your own life. To watch more videos like this in the future, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.